Every month, RX Radio has an interview with a register from Red Cross Children's Hospital to talk about different health topics. For February, Dr. Linos Sibanda from Red Cross will be talking to us about mindfulness and being present and how this relates to health. Welcome to the show, Dr. Linos.
Thank you for having me in this program. I'm so delighted to be able to give my thoughts on a subject that is quite close to me, though I must admit that I'm actually not an expert in the field of mindfulness. I do, however, have come across techniques which I find very useful in enhancing daily living, mental, spiritual, and physical well-being, in reducing aspects of pain, suffering, through simple techniques that can be applied by anyone, which I'll be getting into, shedding some light as to how this can help children. So it's an absolute pleasure to have this opportunity.
How would you explain mindfulness in terms of health to a 5-year-old?
When you eat breakfast, when you're eating your porridge, when you're eating your wheat bix, and you feel that crunchiness in the mouth, and you taste the milk, and you feel that heat, that warmth in your mouth, that is being mindful. When you're playing out barefooted, you feel the grass underneath your feet, that is being mindful. When you are reading your book and you put your mind towards the book that you're reading, you see the horses, the cats, and during that time that's what you are concentrating on. That is being mindful. When you're speaking with mom and dad and you hear what they're saying and they call out your name and you respond and look at them, that is being mindful.
Why do you think mindfulness is important in terms of health?
Because mindfulness enables us to be resilient, it enables us to cope with stressful situations, and it brings about a well-being of the mind and the body. It therefore becomes an important part of healing and therapy. In effect, mindfulness has been shown to be useful in reducing pain and experience of unwellness. It has been shown that it helps even with other forms of mental as well as physical illness. So what it does is that it removes us from a state of panic and fear and grounds us. It allows us to accept even those things that are causing us not to be physically well, but in a manner that maintains our well-being, thereby reducing the experience of suffering and negative feelings and helping us to cope with those experiences that are painful.
How can children practice mindfulness and being present?
There are a couple of methods which children can practice which will help with mindfulness. One is the breathing technique. By counting our breath, breathe in, count 1, out 2. And doing that, counting up to 5 will make you relax. It will ease the mind and make you focus. Another technique would be an imagination, where you imagine yourself as a superhero. I'm not sure which superheroes are currently, but you can be like a Captain Planet, like a Ninja Turtle, a super person. And when you get anxious and fearful, you imagine yourself being that superhero, conquering that thought of fear or pain and becoming at ease. Listening to music which is not too loud but soft and eases the mind. Being in nature or just looking at the sun, looking at a tree and appreciating it at the moment.
What can children do to encourage their parents to also practice being mindful and being present?
Children can actually be champions of mindfulness. Children can encourage parents and older people to be mindful. When you notice that mom or dad is a bit stressed, they are worried, you can encourage them to do the breathing technique which I've just talked about. You can encourage mom or dad to take a walk around the house, or if you've got access to nature, go to the park. If COVID allowing, that's a good thing. Looking at the trees, hearing the birds sing, dancing even, those are techniques that will be helpful. Singing and listening to every word in the song, your favorite song, could be a rhyme, that would be helpful. And doing it with the parents, taking a dog for a walk with mom or dad or their caregivers, all those are good ways of being mindful. We can encourage our parents and older people to do this.
During the time of COVID, why do you think mindfulness and being present could be more important?
I think during the COVID time, it's a time that requires us to be more and more mindful than ever. It's because we find ourselves more and more confined to our homes, hospitals, and there's more time that we're spending with ourselves. It therefore should be a time that we should be in good company. If we are alone and you find that you are quite stressed and unhappy, it means you're not in good company. So we have now to find ways of being with ourselves. And how we can do that is when we are mindful, we are not really by ourselves because we are in touch with nature. We are in touch with a deeper aspect of ourselves. We are in touch with our breath. We are mindful. When we breathe, that we are breathing. When we eat, that we are eating. When we walk, we are walking. We see nature in its true form. Therefore, instead of us being lonely and feeling like we are depressed during this time, it's time actually to be mindful, to discover ourselves, to discover the nature, and to truly live in the moment. So COVID is actually a unique opportunity to do this.
Do you have any messages that you would like to give to the children in the hospital?
To the children in hospital, I say to you that you are true heroes of mindfulness. You spend so much time with yourself alone, and therefore you can use this time to enhance the well-being, to become resilient. Breathe in happiness and breathe out all the stress, which means use the breathing technique to enhance your physical and mental well-being. See everything in its true nature. Look at and feel the sun. Be in the moment. And if you're a person of faith, see how that works in this time of being in the hospital. Therefore, I encourage you to practice mindfulness. If you are able to eat, taste the food and be appreciative of it. Live every moment in mindfulness.
Is there anything you would like to say?
I'd like to thank you for giving me an opportunity to discuss with you, to share my thoughts on mindfulness with the children at Red Cross and the other listeners that you have in your program, who tune in. I think this is a very important aspect of daily living that, when incorporated or used, can help us to face the challenges that we face every day, be they physical illness, be they mental challenges, be they stress and fear and the other things that we face, especially during this time of COVID. So I just want to end by thanking you and encouraging all your listeners to consider using this to enhance their well-being. Thank you for this time, and may you have a truly beautiful and mindful life.
Thank you, Linus, for the interview.